Hey, this is Danny from Weird and Wired. This is yet another pink radio cassette player. I recently did a video demonstrating what this sounds like. I had a couple of people ask, can you show me how you did this? So I said, next radio I get, I'll do just that. And then this cropped up and it's near enough. It's pink, it's a radio, and it's a cassette player. So I was like, perfect, great, I'll take that. I was told it was working. This is how it currently sounds. So it's not ideal. So I'm gonna take this apart, try and get it working. If we can do that, then I'll show you how to modify this and turn it into a usable amp. You can use it either in the radio setting or you can use it in the tape setting, record straight to tape as well, which is a nice feature to have. I have noticed it's got a pretty cool feature that the other one did not. This actually has two speakers, left and right, and it has an independent volume for each of those. So that gives us the option of turning this into two amps, essentially having two inputs. You could sort of line them up so you have both speakers going for the same sort of input, the same instrument, whatever you're plugging in. But I do like the idea of making this a little bit different. I think it'd be cool. You can walk around with your buddy and you can both be jamming out guitar through a radio as you're walking down the street. So let's open this up and get rid of this crackle. Here we are on the inside. You can see sort of here is a good sort of representation of the sort of dirt and dust we got inside of. So a nice couple of dust bunnies burrowing away up the back. It's not looking too bad. Nothing looks absolutely sort of devastatingly bad. With it making sound already, I feel it's probably just this dust is just clogged it up a bit, so I'm going to give it a bit of a blowout, use a bit of contact cleaner, and hopefully that's all this needs. So let's give that a try and see where we're at. Alright, so we have a functioning radio. I'll give you a quick blast.
It's a little school.
So yeah, as you can see, it's coming through. We got a right speaker and a left speaker. And the cassette function as well is working. So now we know it is working. As I say, really all this needed was some contact cleaner on the volume sliders. I also did the same for the function and the selector, because while you got it open, you may as well give it a good look into all round. So now that we know it's all working the way it should, let's get it wired up and turn this into an amp. So this is the jack that I'm going to be using for this. It's a 1/4 inch jack, much like you would find on an electric guitar, and there are two wires. As you can see, I've already soldered these on to make it a bit easier to see the differences. This inner sleeve here with the black wire, that is our ground, and the outer sleeve with the red wire, that is our live, that is our signal. So we're looking at just this left volume now for starters. We've got these 3 points you can see here on the slider itself, and they correlate with these 3 solder joints. I've already worked out that this one on the far left is for the live, for the red wire, and the one next to it is the ground we can use. It does vary. Not all radios are going to have sliders. Sometimes it can be a bit of trial and error working out what solder joint you want to be using, but as I say, it's part of the fun, sometimes part of the frustration, but it's with a little bit of knowledge of how to solder, it's real simple just to add an extra couple of wires in. So let's do that now. So there we go, that is the jack soldered into place, but we don't want it just dangling like this, so I'm going to drill through the plastic casing. Fortunately, the other side of this, we've got a lot of space where we can house a nice big old 1/4 inch jack. It all comes down to the radio you're working with. Sometimes you'll have space like this, other times it is pretty compact. I'm also going to be putting another jack on this side with the right speaker for the right volume. So let's get this one drilled up, secured, and then we'll pretty much do the same with the right side. Alrighty, so let me show you how we're sounding. This is the radio side of things. So as you can kind of hear there, as you turn the volume up, you get a bit more tone as well. It starts to sort of break up, sound pretty cool and distorted. There is a fair bit of background noise with the radio, but having the cassette setting on this is an added bonus. Like I say, we switch it over to that and it won't come through straight away. You need to have the cassette player engaged and doing something. Thankfully, this one actually operates even when there is no cassette in there, so I can just hit play and it's coming through. You can hear there is a lot less background noise. A nice kind of clearer sound. So sometimes maybe you want a bit of extra sort of grit and noise in the background, depends how lo-fi you want to get. You've got the radio for that, you've got the cassette for a clearer sound. So it's all working as it should. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the right speaker. Now the only thing I did different for the jack for the right speaker was, instead of using 2 individual wires like I did for the previous left speaker, was I just used this bit of cable just because it's got a bit more distance to travel, so it keeps things tidier and neater on the inside. But we've got left jack for the left speaker, right jack for the right speaker, and I also disconnected the antenna. I'm gonna just remove this altogether because it's pretty battered. It doesn't actually sit in place very well. So other than that, gonna give it a good old wipe down, then we'll get it back together and we'll have a bit of fun with this thing. the radio guitar amp. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. If it's something you're curious about, I hope it's been informative. If you've got any questions or even any tips, do leave them in the comments. This has been really fun to work on, especially doing the dual input for the separate speakers. I do notice that the left speaker seems to kind of lean a bit more into the low end, and the right speaker has a bit more kind of high end bias. But what do you guys think? Can you hear a difference? Is this something that intrigues you? Is this something that you're going to go away and try for yourself? You let me know all your thoughts and feelings, and until the next time, keep it weird and keep it wired.
Weird and wired.